What's up, everybody? I'm Jay Got with another video. It's been a while, but I'm gonna talk about this Destiny 2 coming out and some of the questions and concerns people are having across the board right now. But I will start off with the PC version and how, it's not coming out on a release date, which is fine because they want to make sure it runs great, and I'm totally fine with that. They want to make sure everything with it is peachy. But I have a question. I'm wondering does this mean that COD will come out on Battle.net 2? I kind of hope not, but who knows going forward. We'll see what happens. But I know that some people are kind of concerned about, complaining about how it's coming out only on Battle.net and not on Steam. And they say, well, now I got to open another program to run the game, this, that, and the third. I understand what they may be going through, I guess. They open another program just to play a game. But I mean, if you want, you can add that game to Steam as a non-Steam game and be just fine. Yeah, granted, it will still open up the client and you still gotta go there. But hey. And another thing that was brought up for somebody I know is like, hey, now you have another set of friends. You gotta play with different friends lists. They're not connected. Steam friend list and Blizzard friend list, they're not the same. It's not the same people. You can add the same people though, but you gotta add them and see if they have it. Unlike on the console, it's all under one umbrella. It's a little different. But me personally, I'd rather play a game solo than play with my friends. Nothing against my friends, but that's how I've been playing my multiplayer games. Is I meet people online and go from there. That's how I do it, at least. But if the game was on Steam, I think people will complain still and say that Steam has a monopoly over everything. All the games are there and they're not on different clients. So it's kind of like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If it's not on Steam, it's a problem. If it's on Steam, it's a problem. I'm like, what's the problem? It's like you can't win, man. You know what I mean? Just can't win. I don't know. It's just, I think that the fact that it's going to Blizzard's client, is good for them business-wise because they get all the earnings from it. They don't have to give Steam a little bit or whatever. It's all over there, So, I don't know. To me, this is more of a business thing, I guess, But that's just how they want to do it. That's how they want to do it. Can't really complain about that. Now on to this console version thing, fiasco. So, it's more or less confirmed that this game's going to be 30 frames per second. The developers are saying, oh, it's the PlayStation's fault. Why is 30 frames? This, that. But what was the complaint before? Before, on the first one, they said because they wanted everything to be the same experience for people that have a PS3 and 360 and a PS4 and Xbox One. I don't know if you guys remember that. Remember when it came out and that's what they said then? So if that's the case now, then what was it really back then? I don't know. I think they're just trying to throw something out there as a throw you a bone type thing. I really don't think it's a CPU issue. I'm not a developer. I believe the PlayStation, Xbox One, they should have the horsepower to do it. I don't see why not. But I guess Bungie wants to keep it at a locked frame rate, and they have the right to do that. That's what they want to do. So, oh well. You know what I mean? It's something we can do about it. They're not gonna have a Pro version and a Scorpio version, even though they didn't say anything about the Scorpio though. But they can't. They're not gonna have the Scorpio version have a 60 frame version, and the people on the regular OG vanilla Xbox One have a 30 frame rate cap. Can you imagine the backlash that would come about if that were true? If they even thought about doing that? Can you just imagine that? Because it's not about resolution that makes you better. Granted, you as a gamer has to be good though, but it's the fact that how quick you can respond. And if you have a higher frame rate versus another person, I mean, not just like 5 to 10 frames different. I'm talking about double the rate, right? If yours is that drastic, it's clearly like it's like pay to win. I gotta buy this newer console in order to beat these people in the PvP mode. Now, I don't know if they're gonna do anything for PvE, which I don't think they are either. I think they're just doing it all even across the board and call it a day. That's what I think they're gonna do and be done with it. But it's kind of crazy. I had a strange chat with Kid Smooth on Twitter and he was saying, he just reiterating things that Mikey Barra and all these people from Xbox said. It's up to developers to do this and that and third, but I kept on telling them what I just said. If the vanilla is 30, they're gonna do the same to this one. If it was a straight single player game, hey, they could do whatever the hell they want, but it isn't. The multiplayer, it has to be even. If the Xbox One's not gonna be 60, and the PS4's not gonna be 60, then the Pros and Scorpio aren't gonna be 60. It's just that simple. I mean, if you want higher frame rate, I mean, go to the PC, right? Use the PC version. That one's gonna be whatever your PC can do, pretty much. You know, that's what they said is gonna be an unlocked frame rate, which is fine. But I'm afraid that a phrase that was used before is gonna come back again, and that was when the PS4 and Xbox One first came out, when they were still doing games on last gen and this gen, and everybody was saying, "Oh man, it's console parity. The old generation is holding us back. Stop making games for 360 and PS3 because we're not getting the full game. This, that, and the third." So are we gonna use the same phrase now? We're gonna say that the PS4 and Xbox One, the vanilla ones, are holding back development for the Pro and the Scorpio? Are we gonna start saying that now? That's what I'm very curious to. I'm curious to hear what people got to say of that, because that's what's going to happen. I mean, let's be honest about it. They're not leaving anybody behind. Kind of like a No Child Left Behind situation here. If the vanillas can't do it, the Pros won't do it. On a multiplayer standpoint, you know, let's put it that way, frame rate wise. And the same person, Kiss Move, tried to tell me that, well, you get an advantage by having a keyboard and mouse and a Elite controller. I'm like, really? It's like he tried to tell the resolution makes you a better player. I'm like, no, not necessarily. It doesn't. I have video footage to prove it. I got people at a LAN tournament that will help host it. They're playing at some crazy old frame rate. Crazy old resolution, just to get more frames and minimal response time. But what do I know, right? What do I know? But anyways, I'm Jay God, just from food for thought. Just think about it. Peace.